Hello, hello, hello. I'm a PaintedDog and welcome back to another episode of our Vanilla City Skylines Let's Play series. I hope you're having a lovely day. My day is actually quite good, thanks. Now, as I sit here looking at the partial cloverleaf interchange in the distance on this road, I thought to myself, I think this episode we are going to do beautification of the city. So let's get out of this view. But first, let me quickly show you the traffic is now 86% still. And the reason for that is this bit here. And I did a bit of thinking. The only way I can remedy this to some extent is by installing Traffic Manager President's Edition. Or I need to rework this entire area. But I think for now, I'm just going to leave it and see what happens. And we did a bit of zoning as well. This area is now fully zoned in, where I can zone in and where I want to zone in. This block here. And then it's just this bit here that we need to do a bit of zoning still. But for today's episode, we hinted at this last episode, but I think it would be a great idea to do beautification of our city. And we'll start with the highways. Going along the highways and doing a bit of beautification along here. I think that would go a long way. So let's first start off with this. Let's add in a couple of rocks just here and there. Just to add in some interest along the way. And bits like this where I already did some beautification, I'm just going to go through it quickly with this, and just to get a couple of rocks in here. Don't want too many, but don't want too few either, because I don't really want just trees or just boulders, or I want a nice mixture of things along the way. Come on, click. I'm just randomly clicking along the center island. And now we get the trees. Now, as you all know, I'm using a couple of trees just because I don't want to get too complicated and using too many different types of trees for this bit. Now these wild, I believe it's wild conifers, they tend to be a bit big. So I need to be a bit more precise with the placement of that. And around here we can go a bit wild, but we'll do that later on. For now, I'm just going to focus on the highways. Get the trees in on the highways. And now this roundabout is getting a bit congested again. But that comes and goes, so I'm not really too bothered with that. And I like placing in these trees with leaves number 2 as well, because it gives that bit more autumny colors to the trees. And I really like that contrast with the really green from the conifers. And what's nice, if you use these close to your industry, when the conifers turn a bit more greyish in color, then, or greyish brown in color, then they really complement one another. Now, as I said, I'm not going to do too much in the way of beautification on the edges. Don't know if I said that, but I wanted to say that. But areas like this where it's really a bit dull, I will really go a bit heavier with the beautification, because our city is a bit on the dull side. I really need to get into the habit of beautifying the city as I build it. That would be a way to go, I believe, in the future. But you learn as you go, hey? I'm gonna leave those trees like that. So just by adding in a couple of trees, it already looks a bit better. I'm not going to do too much here because that's a high polluting area. But as long as we have some trees in, this will be fine. Now over here we can do a bit more. We are edging closer to our 46,000, so I'm not really too bothered in really knuckling down and getting that sorted. But if we can do it, great. Okay, you see that's a problem with these ones. They tend to be a bit too big, and then they add in trees along the edges, which I usually like, don't get me wrong. But for tight areas like this, it's just better to do something like that. And I can also add in a bit of ground cover in here as well. That would also aid to help the area look a bit better. And as I said, I'm not really going to do anything on this side because we still need to build up the airport and all that. If everything goes according to plan, we can do that next episode. But we'll see how it goes. But on this side we can do a bit of beautification since the city is already fully developed on this side. And get a couple of trees in there as well. Now along here we do the same thing. Get the trees in. Actually the boulders first, but I think for this bit we can just leave like this. And the dismal attempt at doing some beautification previously. I think I need to get to the tree limit. I never place trees until I reach the tree limit, and I think will really try and get that with this playthrough. I think that would be an achievement in itself. Seeing that we never did that. I was a bit too heavy with that in there, but hey. And here I can't have it go onto the highway. But I'm going to go around the city and do something with all the highways, and I'll bring you back as soon as that's done. I think I might have worn out the left mouse button on my mouse in the last hour approximately, because I went around the entire highway system and added in trees. As I said, I won't add in any trees on rocks on this side because we still need to build up our airport, but I went ahead through all these interchanges and along all these highways and added in trees, and you can see the border basically there. And the same on this side, there's a border. And what I added in, I extended this zoo area to this side, and then added in a small side gate to that bit of road with a bridge connecting that. And I added in trees and boulders and rocks all along here as well. Did a bit of conifers here because I don't really degrade or turn brown or whatever you want to call it as much as the rest, so that's okay. That we did. And we already did this bit up to about there, as you can see. But I also went ahead and I went through this interchange. That's still a nightmare. And I added in trees and boulders along here as well. That bit up to here to hide that terrain deformities there. And what I started doing was to add in trees in our zoo because it was really bland and dull around here. Problem is now you can see the definite edge of a map, but we will buy these two tiles as well, so then we can do a better job at that. But for now, let's get into our city and do a bit of work in the city as well. Because as you can see, there's a lot of open spaces and we don't need that in our lives. So I'm going to go around and add in a couple of boulders everywhere. And yeah, then we can work from there. But I won't let you sit through in everything. Let's kick off an old-fashioned time lapse. And doesn't that look a lot better already? The city looks a bit more lived in and it just looks like a wonderful place to stay. Now I'm going to go ahead and do that with all areas. This side is basically done. The farm definitely needs, but I want to upgrade the farm and add in a couple more buildings as well to really boost production, because at this stage we are making profit, but we can do better. But I want to go around the entire city and do it in all of these areas. But don't worry, you won't sit through all that. I'll bring you back as soon as that's done. I am definitely going to feel this tomorrow, but I went ahead and I went all around the city. Now I might have missed an area or two, but I added in trees everywhere. This bit I skipped just a little, and but as you can see, there's a map edge right there. So yeah, I added in trees and boulders everywhere in the city. Some places are a bit more densely planted than other areas, but overall all of the roads basically have some foliage and boulders, except for the farming area. As I said, I want to upgrade this and add in a couple more buildings, but you can see there we added in some trees and boulders along here. So that's our entire city now done and dusted. I have to say, it looks much better. I wouldn't mind living in this city now. Still not a fan of cities, but I wouldn't mind living in this one if I had to. But the traffic is still a bit of an issue. If we take a look at this, at 86%. These roundabouts are basically cleared up now. There are still red spots, but it's just high usage areas. Same with over here. The traffic's still moving, so that's fine. And down here, first roundabout is getting a bit busy now, but traffic's moving. That's the main thing. Traffic needs to be moving. But the issue is still this interchange here. As you can see, traffic is stopping at times and it's backing up quite a bit. So we just might have to bite the bullet and install traffic manager for that. But for now, the city is still coping. The traffic's not too bad an issue. This is backing up, yes, but it's not really impacting the rest of the city too much. So I'm not really too bothered about this. But yeah, we are steady chugging along. Hopefully we'll be able to get to our milestone. We did get a couple more students, which is great. Now in here I didn't add a lot of trees, as you can see there, because there's not really enough space. But I think the city will look quite well as soon as it starts developing and expanding and growing, or gaining higher levels and expanding that way. I think that would be great. Now our parks are looking a bit scarcely planted because it's so dense around the city, but that's fine. I can live with that. I can really live with that. So yeah, as soon as we unlock the airport, we'll be placing in the airport, hopefully next episode. I think we just might make it. But let's go ahead and have a look at our city where we can do a bit more zoning. I'm going to add that in. Just these pockets of buildings. Hopefully this will be okay. Not give us too many headaches. And then we can add a small shop there, and there, and there. And then definitely a shop or two there. No, that won't be too bad. Just so we can get that population chugging along. I want to zone off of this road because that's mainly a service road. And I'm not zoning on this bit right there, but over here, yeah, we might do a little bit of zoning. Just that bit there. To get some traffic moving in there. But let me not pause this. Get the water pipes in, because as you can see I didn't do it over here yet because I wasn't really planning on zoning off of that, but I think we can get away with it. So our traffic steadily moving along. I'm going to boost this to, okay, it's already at max speed, and you know what, let's wait and see how the city grows through the night time. And now it turns to nighttime. And our skyline is really looking quite lovely now. Couple of taller buildings. And yeah, I think we'll, if we don't get it in the next couple of minutes, or two, the milestone, we'll definitely reach the milestone in the next episode. But I won't let you sit through all of that. Let's quickly recap what we did. We added in beautification along all of our highways. All through there. And through there. And then this bit right there. Up to there. And we went ahead and in all of the built up areas where we didn't want to expand the city anymore or grow the city anymore, we planted a couple of trees and boulders and basically did a basic beautification around the areas. So this is might have been a boring episode for some, but we did something that was really necessary. But I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the next one, where hopefully we'll have enough cims so we can build up our airport area district. But I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the next one. Cheerio!